Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. So we are doing another pick a card reading, and the topic of this reading will be who is watching you, or maybe who is stalking you on social media. And I just wanted to do something a little more lighthearted, taking a break from the healing readings and things of that sort. So from time to time, I will do these pick a card readings about these random topics that really serve no point other than to feed your curiosity, because I know a lot of you are nosy just like me. And so, these will be the topics that will pique your interest the most. So yeah, we're going to do who's watching you the most on social media. It'll go the same way any other pick a card reading goes. You look at the screen, you see which card you are more drawn towards intuitively, like what does your gut tell you. And then you go to the description box, and that's where the timestamps will be. And you just click on the timestamp that matches with, whatever card you are drawn towards. And if at first these pick a card readings make you a little uncomfortable, like you don't know which one to pick, that just means that, you need to strengthen your intuition. And so if you continue to watch these types of readings, then your intuition will strengthen over time, and then it'll be easier for you to decide, which card you are most drawn towards. So like I said, just take a second and pause the screen if you need to, and then click on, whichever card, or click the description box timestamp for whichever card you choose. And if you feel drawn to more than one card, then you can go ahead and watch more than one set of messages. So let's go ahead and dive into your reading. Okay, group number one. So let's see who is stalking you online. So this looks like someone who you had some sort of romantic connection with. And it doesn't have to be that. Like for some of you, this could just be a friendship that was really deep. But for most of you, I feel like this was some sort of romantic connection, whether it be like you both were romantically interested in each other, or it was like one-sided, so they could have been more interested than you were. But either way, I feel like there was a connection there, and it looks like you withdrew your energy, with the Magician card being in the reverse. So it looks like you stopped investing into the connection, like you stopped possibly responding to them. And it doesn't even have to be that you directly stop responding to them. You could have just started putting distance between you and them. Like maybe you don't talk to them as often as you used to. Maybe you're telling them like, hey, I'm busy, that's why I'm not responding as much. But it looks like you are intentionally putting distance, like you don't want to invest, your time or your energy into the connection any longer. And it looks like they are taking it kind of hard. With the Despair card being here and the Privileged Lady card, it's like they are kind of taking it personally. It's like affecting their self-esteem. I feel like this person may have already had issues with their self-esteem, and they may have been rejected by other people in the past. And so any rejection that they experience, it's like they feel it very deeply. So that's what I'm seeing here. It's like even if you didn't directly reject them, they can feel you sort of pulling your energy back. So it's kind of like it's bothering them pretty much, or it's hurting them in some way. I'm hearing this keeps happening to me. So yeah, I think that this has happened to them in the past before. And so they're taking it very personally, like more personally than someone normally would. So with the message card being here, I feel like this person may have expressed this to you. Like maybe they reached out to you and told you that you're hurting their feelings, or maybe they have just tried to reach out to you numerous times, like double texting you back to back, even when you don't respond, or calling your number back to back. But yeah, it's like, I feel like they've let it be known for most of you. For some of you, this isn't the case, but for most of you, they've let it be known that their feelings were hurt. I feel like this is someone who the majority of your communication has been over the phone. So like through texting, or through phone calls, or through direct messaging on social media. So this isn't someone who I'm sensing that you would have spent like a lot of quality time with offline. It looks like the majority of your connection has been through your phone. Even if you have met this person offline, like in person, still it looks like the majority of your communication was through the phone. But either way, they still felt a connection to you, and so you pulling back and pulling your energy back is, affecting them. It definitely is. So why they are stalking you is the next three cards. We have the Coffin card, the Pathway card, and the Occupation card. All right, so the Coffin card being here in reverse lets me know that they're stalking you because they want to rekindle your connection, like the way that it was before, like when you were actually like communicating a lot, they would want it to go back to that. I feel like you don't want it to go back to that, but they do, and so that's why they're kind of watching you. They don't want to really let it go. Pretty much, they're not ready to let it go. They don't want the connection to end. They think it can be like rekindled, pretty much. With the pathway card being here in the reverse, they're pretty like fixated and focused on that. Like they are having a hard time just kind of letting it go and moving forward. They really want things to restart. They really want things to be the way that they, used to be between you two. They're just having a hard time letting go, pretty much. With the occupation card being here, I'm also seeing that they don't have much going on in their life besides work. I feel like they go to work and come home and go to work and come home. Like that's just their life. So it makes sense too why they would have a hard time detaching or moving forward, because they don't have much going on in their life. So it's not like they could say, oh, just forget it. I'll just go and hang out with my friends, or I'll just go focused on this, or, it's like their life is very mundane. It's very like kind of dull, and I think that even the job they work at, they don't even enjoy that. So you were kind of like a bright spot in their life, and so they don't really want to kind of let that go. So in order to let go of you, they would probably need to introduce like something new that they're passionate about into their life. Until then, it's like they're going to be kind of fixated on you. I am seeing here too that okay, you may or may not agree with this, but I feel like this person feels like they invested a lot into you or into your connection, and they could feel sort of like played. Like I said, you may not agree with this. This is just how they are seeing things. They could feel sort of played. I feel like also, though, this person has a tendency to invest a lot into people a little too quickly, and then they expect the same in return, but it's not really... I'm just hearing it's not really realistic. I'm trying to figure out the best way to describe what I'm hearing. It's like they're the type of person who, if they meet you, they will immediately try to form a bond a little too quickly. And if you don't reciprocate that, then they kind of take it personally, if that makes sense. This person is also someone who's they're kind of anxious. Like when it comes to attachment styles, like anxious, preoccupied attachment style, that's what I'm getting from them with the Tower card being here. They're very anxious when it comes to attaching to people. So they try to give a lot early on because they have this fear of like the person not reciprocating. So they give a lot early on, and that actually can turn people off a little bit. Maybe that's what turned you off. Maybe they were coming on too strong, or they were trying to rush into something possibly. I feel like they didn't mean any harm, but I feel like that, like I said, there's just this anxious sort of energy to them. With the Seven of Swords being here and the Ten of Pentacles being in the reverse, I feel like this person, I'm hearing they sort of fooled themselves, or they have a tendency to fool themselves. Like they project what they want like onto a person, and then when you don't follow along with it, they feel like betrayed, or they feel like they just take it really hard. And it's not just with you. I feel like this is how they kind of are when they connect with people. They think in their minds, like they fantasize in their minds, like it's going to be like this, like for a long time. This is going to be my friend forever, or this is like the person I'm meant to be with. This is my soulmate or something like that. And they kind of create a fantasy about it. And then when it doesn't go according to plan, they can get kind of hurt, or their feelings can get, their ego and their feelings can get really bruised, and they can feel sort of betrayed, or like the person deceived them. When that isn't the case, they kind of deceive themselves, if that makes sense. This all really goes along with, like I said, anxious, preoccupied attachment style. If you never looked up that attachment style, go ahead and do that, because it looks like this person possesses that attachment style. I'm hearing reality. Like they don't really live in reality when it comes to their connections at times. So they could have like created a fantasy in their mind about you. And even if you went along with the fantasy, they don't have the ability, like once you say like, okay, that's not what it is, we're not doing that. They don't really have the ability to shift that fantasy and say, okay, well, realistically, that's not going to happen. So let me go ahead and focus elsewhere. Like they kind of hold on to the fantasy, if that makes sense. And again, I don't think it's like that this person is like malicious or anything like that, but it just seems like they invest too much too soon, or they just attach too quickly, and then when you want to withdraw your energy, they can get kind of hurt and needy and things of that sort. So how they feel when they watch you on social media. We have the Wealthy Man card, the Lovers card, the Marriage card. Okay, So it looks like when they look at your social media, it really does, like, it impacts them, or it impacts their self-esteem, with the wealthy man card being in the reverse, because it looks like you don't really show any sign of, figure out the best way to describe this. It's almost like you don't show really any sign of missing them, or you don't show any sign of really thinking about them. And so I feel like it kind of, like, it's a blow to their ego. It's a blow to their self-esteem. I feel like they look at your social media specifically to see if you're thinking about them, or they could look at your social media because possibly you didn't text them back, but they go to look at your social media like, okay, they didn't text me back, but let me go see if they tweeted, or let me go see if they posted on Instagram or on Facebook. And when they see that you have and that you didn't text them back, it's like a blow to their ego. Yeah, the marriage card being in the reverse, it's like they are kind of seeing it as, okay, whatever connection we had, it's probably not going to happen again. Or like sorry, too many messages at once. They are losing faith a bit every time they check your social media. Like, they're losing faith a little bit. They're kind of like, okay, clearly this person is tweeting or posting and not texting me back, and they're not really showing any signs of thinking about me. So maybe this isn't gonna happen, like maybe this isn't gonna work out. But also they could also see on social media, maybe you post about other people, maybe you like other people's pictures or something along those lines. That's for a small group of you. They can see that you show interest in other people on social media as well, so that in itself is like, okay, maybe they're not that interested, or maybe we're not going to be, you know, rekindling. Even if this is just a friend, they could see that maybe you're on social media talking to your other friends, or like making plans with your other friends, and they're just like, oh shit, okay, well, maybe this person really doesn't want to be friends with me anymore, you know. The Lover's card is here as well, so they still feel a very strong connection to you. They still feel a very strong pull towards you, but it's just kind of like they see on your social media that it's conflicting. It's like the way they feel about you is clearly conflicting with the way you feel about them. So they're not that delusional to the point where they're just like making up in their mind that you're in love with them, or that, you know, you're invested in them. They're trying to hold on to the fantasy, but they can't really help but to see on your social media that maybe, you know, maybe it's not going to work out. And again, this could be someone who you genuinely don't even understand or know the depth of how they feel about you, because you could have like talked to them for a very short period of time. Like I said, this is someone who you talk to a majority of the time on your phone. So this could be someone you met online and you spoke to for a couple weeks online, and they may have gotten really attached more so than you know. So some of you could be aware of this person. For some of you could be like, well, I don't know who this person is. And then behind the scenes, it's someone who you talked to like months ago for like a week and a half, and, you know, they're feeling this way. So yeah, that is who watches you online. I feel like there's nothing you could really do for this person, unless this is a person who's reaching out and like asking you like, hey, what's going on and stuff like that, and you're not being direct. You know, you, in that case, the only thing you could do, or the thing that you probably should do, is to be direct, so that they have no reason to kind of wait in the wings, like, what's going on, I'm confused. Like, being direct would probably be the best bet, be your best bet. But for a lot of you, it's like, yeah, this person, they'll let go and kind of move on, I guess, when they're ready, as long as they're not like pushing your boundaries and trying to force, you know, anything onto you. There's not really much you can do about them watching you, you know, which sounds really creepy, I know, but I feel like this person isn't like really malicious. It's like, yeah, we'll just end it there. Yeah, that's it. That's it for this. So if you feel drawn towards any of the other two piles, then you can go ahead and watch those as well, because those may resonate with you as well. But if not, then I will see you guys in my next reading. Bye. Okay, group number 2. So let's see who stalks you online. So we have the courtship card, the expectation card, and the great fortune card. Okay. So this is definitely somebody who is romantically interested in you, with the courtship card being here and the great fortune card being here. This is someone who thinks very highly of you. They put you up on a pedestal. They see that you have a lot of great qualities. So I'm getting two different things. For some of you, this is someone who you're currently seeing, like you're currently dating them, or you're talking to them. You're in that stage. And they are a little paranoid, so they kind of watch you on social media. It's not like they're necessarily stalking you, but they're just kind of like, what's the word for it? Scoping is what I'm hearing. Like, just kind of feeling you out, like seeing how you interact on social media, seeing the things that you post, like when you start liking someone, you start talking to them and you pay close attention to their social media, that sort of thing. For some of you, this isn't someone that you're dating or talking to, but they would like to date you or talk to you. And so that's why they are watching you on social media. With the Six of Pentacles being here and the Seven of Cups, this is kind of like them wanting to invest energy into you, but them hesitating to because they are not fully like, I'm trying to figure out like the best way to describe this. It's like they don't fully know you, but they like what they see so far. It's really like, I'm not getting like a stalker vibe from them. It's more like, when you start liking someone and you sort of like go on their social media and just kind of pay attention to what they post and see if there's any red flags, like that sort of thing. So they like what they see in you so far. And I feel like they only watch your social media just as a way to confirm what they're seeing, or to see if maybe they're off about it. Like maybe they see you as someone who is like a potential partner, and they're on your social media to see like, are you talking to anyone else, or how you interact with other people, things of that sort. Like, are you a flirt on social media or not? Those things, we kind of go and case the joint, like before we go fully in and before we invest fully in. I feel like they're just doing something that most people do. I don't feel like it's like a stalker-ish thing, but I do feel a bit of paranoia from this person. So that's something to be careful. Well, you can't really be careful of it. They should be careful of it, because it's one thing to go in trying to like just feel things out. It's another thing if they've been like hurt in the past or something like that, so they're going on your social media to kind of see if there's the same patterns that they've seen in the past with other people. They need to be a little bit careful of that, because they can start to see red flags that aren't really there if they're looking at it from the lens of things they've been through in the past. So why they stalk you on social media. We have the Six of Wands, the Two of Cups. So yeah, they stalk you on social media. Like I said, this just confirms it, because they see that you could have a successful connection with each other. They see you as someone who is a potential mate or a potential partner, but they do have their doubts with the false person card being here. I feel like they are just really afraid or paranoid about being hurt. And so social media is a way for them to kind of figure you out without you, it's not like without you knowing, but like on social media, people are just kind of carefree, like they post whatever, and you can, despite what people say, you can figure out a lot about somebody from social media. People say, oh, you can't really tell who I am from social. Yes, you can. It's certain things that like you can tell. Like there's certain jokes that you make on social media that you could tell who a person is, certain things that they laugh at, certain things that they repost. So yeah, you can kind of tell. And I feel like this person is kind of like, they're looking at your social media for those reasons, to see like if they can kind of figure you out a little more. Again, they need to be careful with this, because I feel like this is sort of coming from a place of, in the past, they had something happen and they're a little bit paranoid. But yeah, for the most part, I feel like they see that you can have a successful, partnership with them. And they just need to be mindful, need to be careful, because like I said, they can start to see things that aren't there. They can get in their feelings over things that there's no reason to get in their feelings over. And I feel like this is the type of person who okay, I'm getting two different groups. Excuse me. For some of you, this is someone who would directly address you and be like, hey, what's that about? But for some of you, this is someone who would never address you. They would like peep something and fall back, as they say. Like, oh, I peeped that, I'm just going to fall back, which is very immature. Like I said, because they could be seeing something that's a misunderstanding and they wouldn't address you about it. So they need to be very careful about that. So how they feel when they watch your social media. We have the Nine of Cups, and then we have the Eight of Pentacles. So when they watch your social media, I feel like whatever they're seeing, they're liking, because it makes them want to kind of invest a little more. You could, if this is someone you're dating, you could like tweet about them a little bit, or maybe subtweet them in like a positive way, and it makes them feel good. If this isn't someone that you're dating, and they're just like a secret admirer or something, they just really admire you whenever they watch your social media. It makes them feel good about their choice. It makes them feel good about the fact that they have like this crush on you. Like you just kind of confirm why they actually actually have this crush on you every time they watch you. They see unexpected things about you every time they watch you, and it's good things. I feel like they're expecting to see something bad, and they just keep seeing more and more that they actually like. With the child card and the poverty card being here in the reverse, yeah, they're just really sensing that you're someone who they would get along with. Like the child card in this case, I'm getting as like them seeing that you could have a lot of fun together, seeing that you have like common interests, things of that sort. With the poverty card being here in the reverse, it's like they just see that you two together, or your connection together, would be something that's prosperous. You could also be someone who is very like goal oriented for some of you, and that's something that's very attractive to them as well, that you are financially stable, or maybe you have some sort of business that you tweet about or that you post about and things of that sort, or maybe you just seem very responsible on social media. Whatever it is, they just feel like you are a good investment, and every time they watch your social media, they feel more and more like you're someone who they should invest their time, energy, and effort into. Whether they are dating you already or they want to date you and will eventually shoot their shot, is what I'm seeing. So yeah, this is mostly positive. The only thing I would say is that they need to be very careful, because I just feel like there's something that happened with them in the past. Maybe they got cheated on, something along those lines. And so they are careful, they're very vigilant, and so they can kind of use social media as a way to see, like, okay, is this person faithful, or is this the type of person that I need to worry about? Like, are there any red flags, like things of that sort? And they need to be careful of that, because like I said, they can start to see things that aren't there, or they can start to see like misunderstandings, and if they're the type of person that wouldn't confront you about it, they would kind of just see it, draw their own conclusion, and just kind of like, okay, well, I'm just going to fall back a little bit. Or they could see it and confront you about it, and that could actually turn you off a little bit, because that could make them seem, a bit immature. So they need to be careful. But for the most part, yeah, they like what they see. If they have not shot their shot already, I feel like eventually they will. Hold on, I'm going to pull cards for that, actually. 1 second. Okay, so I pull cards for the outcome. So if this is someone who hasn't approached you yet, or you're not dating or talking to them yet, it may take them a while for them to actually approach you. I feel like they're going to keep watching a little bit. It's not just because they're watching to make sure they are compatible with you, or to make sure that you're like, safe to connect with, is that they're also kind of struggling with their self-esteem. I feel like when they watch you on social media, it is kind of intimidating to them. Like, they see things that they like about you a lot, which is like a great thing, but at the same time, it kind of reminds them of their own flaws or their own shortcomings. So it's kind of difficult for them to actually shoot their shot at you, or it's like to approach you, because they just see you in such like a high regard. So yeah, they're gonna have to work up some nerve or some courage to actually approach you. But for the most part, they're just watching you and kind of thinking about it, kind of like fantasizing about it, daydreaming about it, and things of that sort. For those of you who you're already dating this person, or already talking to them, I feel like, your connection will continue to blossom as long as you, take things slowly, maintain your independence with the 9 of Pentacles being here. But I feel like you're already doing that. I feel like that's not like advice. It's something that you're already doing. You're taking things slow. You're not rushing into anything. And hopefully they'll just, they won't ruin it by, investing too much of their energy into watching your social media and seeing red flags and signs that aren't really there. Hopefully that's not happening. But, for the most part, it looks like, things could, prosper into something good if things continue to just go slowly and, build organically. So, yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, if you feel called to watch any of the other 2 piles, then you can go ahead and watch those as well, because they may resonate with you. But if not, then I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Okay, group number 3. So let's see who is watching you or stalking you on social media. So this person is coming up as the Knight of Wands. So this person is very focused on you in terms of their emotions or their passion. It's like they have a lot of intense feeling for you, and I feel like you are not really focused on them. You're coming up as the Queen of Pentacles, meaning that you're kind of focused on yourself, or you're focused on your own life. You're focused on regaining like your stability, and they are just really focused on you. Like they have like strong emotion for you. They could be trying to reach out to you. They could be sending you messages, and it's possible that you are ignoring them or you have ignored them in the past. But I feel like your back is just sort of turned to them. They seem a little younger than you. They seem to be a bit more immature, is what I'm seeing. With the despair card being here, I feel like you either hurt their feelings or they hurt yours, or both. But I feel like they think about you often, with the thoughts card being here. And it looks like this was a lover. This seems very similar to pile one, but a little bit different because this seems a little bit deeper. So this could have been someone who you were actually in a relationship with. Pile one seemed more like someone who you or like someone who was dating someone shortly, like short term, or someone who was getting to know someone. I feel like this one feels more like in a relationship with, or was in a relationship with, is what I'm seeing. So yeah, it's like there's constant thoughts about the connection, about the relationship, and about whatever pain was inflicted either on you or on them. But it looks like there was some sort of painful situation, is what I'm getting. I want to pull a couple more cards for that, just to clarify. One second. Okay, so I feel like you may be at a distance from this person, either an emotional distance or like physically you're apart from each other. I am seeing here that there's not really much emotion being expressed between you two. Like I said, either you're ignoring them or you're not focused on them, or they are not communicating with you in the correct way, because there's not a lot of like vulnerable emotional communication here. It could be no communication at all, actually. Excuse me. With the Wheel of Fortune card being here, it's like a cycle that's stuck, meaning that it feels like there has not been an ending because one person or both people are still kind of holding on. This also can talk about an interruption, meaning something that felt like it was going to last long term, suddenly being turned upside down and things just coming to a halt or a standstill. Feeling like bad luck just kind of hit and that things kind of came to a halt. With the Three of Cups being here, oh, I don't like that energy. Three of Cups in reverse, this could talk about other people, third parties sort of situations, other people outside of yourself, or outside of yourselves, both of you, interfering in the connection, interfering in the growth and the progress of the connection. I feel like at one point you try to balance the connection out again. So this could have been like an on and off again sort of thing, trying to balance the connection out again, but things kept coming or becoming imbalanced due to outside interference or third party interference. And third party doesn't just have to be like people. It could be like third party could be like addictions, like being addicted to certain things or having certain bad habits or certain traits or qualities that just kind of interfere in the connection in a negative way, certain ways of thinking, things of that sort. So I feel like there was some balance that was that you tried to have with each other, but it just seems like things just weren't panning out. And it just looks like there was something outside of you that was really interfering, because I'm seeing 2 cups and I'm seeing 3 cups. Yeah, too many outside people or too many outside or too many negative patterns, behaviors, and things of that sort just interfering altogether. There could be Sagittarius, like this person could be a Sagittarius, or they could have Sagittarius in their chart as well, is what I'm seeing here. But I feel like for the most part, both of you are trying to regain your balance, but they're definitely still watching you. I feel like if you're watching them, they're watching you even more than you're watching them, if that makes sense. Like if you're checking their social media once a day, they're checking yours 3-4 times a day. Like they're watching you, or they're more focused on you than you are on them, is what I'm seeing here. A lot of aggression too. So there could have been like some arguments that were involved in the separation, or you could have actually argued online or something along those lines. It looks like there was some sort of aggression, because I'm seeing a lot of red that's here. Okay. So let's see. why they are stalking you. High honor, wealthy man, card official person. Okay, so a part of the reason why they are watching you is because they are trying to maintain a sense of control. So if they're not reaching out to you, what's the best way to, one second, I'm trying to figure out the best way to word this. It's like they are trying to uphold a certain image, or they're trying to look like they're in control, or they have it all together. So instead of reaching out to you, instead they could watch you, because if they're watching you, they don't have to let you know that they're watching you. But if they reach out to you, then that's pretty much them confirming or confessing that they're thinking about you, or that they are still passionate about you. So for some of you, like I said, this is someone who they just want to uphold a certain image, or they don't want to look too vulnerable. They don't want to look too weak, things of that sort. So they would rather just watch you rather than just reach out to you, if that makes sense. With the wealthy man card being here in the reverse and the high honor card, yeah, I feel like this person, for the most part, they are suffering, or they are just feeling really low because of whatever happened between you two. But I don't think they really want to show it. So they'd rather just kind of watch from a distance. Even if they are reaching out to you, I feel like they're not saying much. Like, they're not being very vulnerable. If they were in the past, they're not now, is what I'm hearing. Because like I was saying earlier, I felt like I was getting the intuitive flash of like a desert, meaning no water, water representing emotion, meaning there's very little emotion flowing. So they could be trying not to be too vulnerable, or to not open themselves up and confess like how they're feeling. So they would rather just watch from a distance to kind of preserve their image, if that makes sense, or to preserve their dignity, is what I'm hearing. But I'm hearing that with the high honor card being here in the reverse, the best thing they could do is actually kind of open up and be vulnerable and communicate. I don't think that you would see them as weak for doing that, but I feel like they would feel like they're weak for doing that. The sun card is here in the reverse, and then the 7 of Cups. So they're also very confused as well about their feelings for you. So they're trying to, they're trying to sort out their feelings for you through watching you on social media. So that's another reason why they feel drawn towards you. Or I should say that's why they feel drawn towards watching you on social media. Sometimes when you have unresolved feelings for someone, you'll be subconsciously drawn towards watching their profile, or constantly thinking about them, because what's happening is that your subconscious mind is trying to process, how you feel. Is trying to put like a definitive like stamp of like, this is how I feel about this situation. So then you can make a decision to move forward. And if you are confused about how you feel about a situation, your subconscious mind will continuously drag you back to it in order for you to fully process it. So they could be like I said, subconsciously drawn towards watching your social media, because they have not fully processed their emotions. I feel like if they would be a little more vulnerable, they would be able to process their emotions. But instead, they're more worried about their image or their dignity, or maybe they don't feel good about expressing emotions, and like maybe it makes them feel weak, So yeah, that's what I'm seeing here. Getting kind of a depressed sort of energy from them as well, not having a lot of clarity, or not having like peace of mind. Like there's no closure with this, I guess I should say. So how they feel when they watch your social media: community, unexpected income, sudden wealth. Wow. Okay. So watching your social media definitely helps them to feel a bit closer to you, is what I'm seeing. Even if they don't want to admit that to themselves, they want to feel close to you. And it helps them to feel sort of close to you. You are like a family to them. That's why I feel like this is someone who you've been with, or it could be a friend. Like, this doesn't have to be romantic. It could be a friendship that was really, really close. But I'm feeling romantic for a majority of you, but you feel like family to them. Watching your social media like brings back memories of like good times and things of that sort. And they're wanting to feel closer to you, even if they don't want to admit that to themselves. Unexpected income in reverse card. They get hit with feelings sometimes that they weren't expecting to get hit with. I feel like sometimes they watch your social media to kind of confirm to themselves that they're fine. Like they feel like if they can look at your social media and feel okay, then that means that they're doing okay. But sometimes they get hit with unexpected feelings, put it that way, or they get hit with like an unexpected emotion that they didn't fully process. But that's a good thing, because I feel like their subconscious mind is wanting that to happen, for them to have these unexpected feelings hit them, because they need to be processed, Yeah, with the sudden wealth card, it's like sometimes they get hit with feelings that are negative, like feelings of sadness and things of that sort. Sometimes they get hit with feelings of happiness, like they come across your social media or they come across a post from your social media where they see that you're doing good, and at times they do feel happy for you. Or they come across something on your social media that reminds them of a memory that you had with them, and then it fills them up with some sort of happiness. So it's like a combination, and that's very dangerous as well. That's dangerous when you go on social media and sometimes you see something that makes you feel good, and then sometimes you see something that makes you feel bad. That can cause like an addiction. That can cause you to become addicted to something. When you experience highs and lows, like drastic highs and lows from something, it can cause your body to become like fixated on it. That's why when you have like a toxic relationship and sometimes it's like great and you have these highs, and the other time it's like terrible and you have these lows, you could become addicted to that person. It's called what is it called? Oh my God, I can't think of what it's called right now because I'm in channeling mode, so my logical mind is turned off. 1 second. Okay, intermittent reinforcement. I literally had to go look it up, and that's a word I use all the time. And I literally had to go look it up because when I'm channeling, it's like my logical brain just turns off. But anyway, yeah, that's what it's called. Intermittent reinforcement. When you have these extreme highs and lows, it can become like, you can become addicted to whatever's giving you that high and that low. So they're starting to become a little bit addicted to watching you because sometimes they're seeing things that make them feel bad, and sometimes they're seeing things that make them feel good. So yeah, I feel like this is going to continue on until they find a way to process their emotions. Either they come forward and speak to you about their emotions, or they can find a way to process it on their own. But I feel like for the most part, with the Knight of Pentacles being here in reverse, I feel like they're aware that you don't really want to work things out. And that could be another reason why they're not coming forward to be vulnerable and express their emotions. But they have to find some sort of way to process this, or else they're just going to keep sort of watching you from a distance. So there's some healing that needs to be done in order for this cycle to, close out. But until then, I feel like they'll just keep, sort of watching you. So that is it, guys, for this group. If you feel drawn towards one of the other two piles, you can go ahead and watch those because they may resonate with you as well. And if not, I will see you guys in my next reading. Bye.